Okay, why right hand and why left hand knives? And what's the confusion? And I'm going to tell you that it's confusing. And the reason that it's confusing is because in the Japanese knives with Western style handles, we have a double bevel knife, and a double bevel knife. A V grind. In general, it's a V grind. Now, the V grind definition doesn't say how the V grind is and whether one side is even with the other side. If the angle is the same, the height of the bevel, that's not described. It just is described as a V grind or a double bevel. It just so happens that they look alike, but this knife is a 50-50 grind that's symmetrical, and this knife is an uneven grind, one side to the other. That orientation, one side to the other, is what makes a right hand or a left hand knife, because the silly thing looks the same. Unless you really look at it and look at the shine, the reflection, or drip some water on there and look at how the water runs off, and turn it over and look at how the water runs off. When you do those things, look at the shine and also look at the description in the catalog, then you understand which is a uneven bevel knife, even though they are both V grinds and they are both double-sided bevels. This one is symmetrical and this one is a right-handed knife. In the uneven grind knives, a right-handed knife, you would be cutting this way, and the side of the knife that I call the inside, closest to what you're cutting, is more flat, and the outside is more typical taper that you would see in this knife. So these are the same on this knife, both sides. This knife, the outside is similar to this, but the inside is more flat. Sometimes it's more curved. Now, that single-sided knife or right-handed knife, but it has an ambidextrous handle. And there's nothing on this knife that says it's a right-handed knife. Now let me jump ahead and try to add to the confusion. They both look alike. They're both ambidextrous, but the blade is different shape, right to left. This blade is the same. It's a mirror image, right to left. In the German knives, they, for the most part, all have the solid tang of the knife going into a handle with some sort of a pummel, and they're generally full tang and riveted. Now, some of them may be 3 rivets. For the most part, it's described as 3 rivets. So just to add more to it, there's also 2 rivets. This handle, the Western handle, is called a yo. In Japanese, it's described as a yo handle, like yo-yo, a yo handle. This handle on a Japanese knife is called a wa, W-A, wa handle, yo handle. The wa handle, the yo handle doesn't tell you anything about the blade. So you could have an ambidextrous knife or a right-handed or left-handed knife, but the handle doesn't give it away. But the confusion is, the problem is that there are different kinds of handles, wa handles, in Japanese knives. This one is called a D-shaped handle. It has a spine on it on the right side that fits in your hands to give you a good secure grip. So this one you can look at it and see it's a right-handed knife. But it's symmetrical. The blade is symmetrical. It's a 50-50 grind, double bevel symmetrical blade, as compared to the uneven grind that the inside is flatter and the outside's more tapered. And because of that, the bevel heights are different, and the way you would sharpen it, how you would approach sharpening it, may be different. This one is designated right hand, but it's an ambidextrous blade that's the same, symmetrical one side to the other. Here is a one-sided knife, a Yanagiba, that's flat on the inside and single bevel on the outside, and it has a D-shaped handle to designate that it's a right side handle. So that's the issue that we run into with the handles on Japanese knives. This one is saying it's a right-handed knife, but the blade is the same. Here is a right-handed knife, and it's very evident that this is a right-handed knife. Right-handed knife, right-handed handle. Here is another example. This one is an elongated octagon. It's an 8-sided handle, and it's taller. Here is an 8-sided handle that is more even. In Japanese knives, there's also a octagonal handle that is round on the bottom, and then there's one that's more wide that's called the shield handle. So you have the elongated octagonal, the octagonal, the shield. You have, excuse my back, an oval handle. There's no D on this. It's just an oval handle, ambidextrous. The knife is matched. It's a 50-50 double bevel, and it's the same on both sides. Here is another elongated oval handle, and this one is tapered. It's wider here than here. So you have all these different handles. This knife happens to be a 50-50 symmetrical grind, and this one is different. This one is a single-sided knife. So the handles become difficult. Now the D handle, you could take that D handle on this knife. This is a symmetrical knife. It is the same. It is a V grind, and the bevel is the same on both sides, but it's fitted with a right-handed handle. And this knife could be fitted with a D-shaped left-handed handle, and then it would fit with that D on the left side for secure grip. But to look at that knife, you cannot look at the blade and tell that it's a right-handed or left-handed. It's designated because of the handle. So for me, this became confusing because you have a right-handed knife that is, in all intents and purposes, is a symmetrical knife, and then you have a knife that is a V grind, and you can't look at it and tell what it is unless you really study the blade, because they really look so similar that it became confusing to me. Then within the handles in Japanese knives, you have, and these are production Japanese knives, and they are production knives more in a hand sense. You can see in a handmade sense. You can see the quality and the fitment, and you can see the price point. You can see the quality in a knife that's less expensive. compared to the quality of knife that's more expensive. But in the Japanese knives, you have some knives are 2 riveted, and it's a full tang, comes all the way to here. Here's a knife from Chef Knives to Go from Mark Richmond. This is a Richmond Artifacts. It's a AEBL. It has a Western style or a yo handle, a full tang, but it only has 2 rivets. Here's a German knife, 3 rivets. There's some discussion in different articles you may read. Here's a Kramer knife. This is a Japanese style knife of a European style knife. It's made in Japan, but it has a lot of European styling to it. And this has 3 rivets, and the center one is decorative. The point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of variety, and there's no statement. There's no statement about what one means over the other. And some of the knives you can look at. Here's one more. This is a Shun knife, a production knife. It has a D-shaped handle. It's sold as a right-handed knife because of the handle, but the blade is symmetrical. It is the same on both sides. It is a V grind. It's a 50-50 grind. Now, if you bought the left-handed handle, the D bar would be on the other. So this one shows you what it is by the handle, but the handle doesn't indicate anything about the blade. This handle doesn't show you anything, but the blade is different. That's the confusion for me. That's the confusion for a lot of people. That's what scares a lot of people from buying the knife, because not only do they not know what it means and what they're buying, but then it's a challenge of sharpening it. So I hope that I covered it. Let me just look at these handles real quick to see. Let me say one more thing. This is called a Western style handle, but it is a Japanese knife. It is a Western style handle. I did explain some of them are 3 rivets, some of them are 2 rivets. Bear with me, I'm looking for it. I got it laying here. This knife looks like a Western style handle, but it's in between. You can see the shape, how this one is hooked and more tapered. This one is straight, more rudimentary. It only has 2 rivets, and it has a full tang. This is a straight handle. This is also called a wa handle. It's called a Japanese handle because it's different. This one falls in between. I just wanted to make that point that there's all different kinds of handles, and those handles may or may not indicate that it's a right hand or a left-handed knife. This one is a symmetrical knife, 50-50 grind on both sides. This one is described as an 80-20 or 70-30. They call it an 80-20, but it is an uneven grind, and they look alike. It becomes confusing. So I wanted to talk about the handles and the handle aspect of buying a Japanese knife. And then the problem is that you have to be able to, if you have a lot of knives like I do, you have to be able to figure out which one's which, or label them, or get familiar with them, because how you approach sharpening one and how you approach sharpening the other, the sharpening process is the same, but how you treat one side compared to the other may be different. And I do think that a lot of people are afraid to traipse into the Japanese knives because they don't know what they're buying, so they don't know how to treat it and how to sharpen it. Thanks.